everyone. Today we're going to be working on our Jen Stark inspired drip drawing. So for this, you're going to need a white piece of paper. You're going to also need a pencil or eraser if you wanted to start with that, a Sharpie, and then any sort of coloring materials you want. You can use crayons, color pencils. I prefer markers because they're a little bit brighter and more vibrant, but again, you could use whatever you wish. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take our pencil eraser, or if you're like me, just take your Sharpie, and we're going to start near the top of the page. We're going to create a cool drip effect from one end to the other. I have my paper laying horizontal, but you can do it vertical if you want. It doesn't really matter. So when I create my drip, I'm going to just start going down, curving back up. And every time I do this, I want my drips to be different lengths. I don't want them to all be the same size. I want some to be long, some to be short. That's what makes the drips more realistic and drip-like. And once I have one good drip here, I'm actually going to make this line a little bit thicker. And again, you could be doing this with pencil right now and then go over it once you're happy with it, especially if you're someone who's a little nervous about creating these drips, that maybe they're not going to be as quick as you would hope them to be. So I'm going to just fly through this. All right, so I have an extra thick black line showing the drips. The reason why I did that is I want to be able to see the different drips as I'm making, because we're going to be filling this page with a lot of drip lines. Now, we're going to start with our initial drip right here. And now what I'm going to do is take my same Sharpie, or honestly, you could be using just a regular black marker. That'll be fine too. And I'm going to follow along this drip, and I'm going to just trace the drip line I have right above it. And I'm going to keep doing it until I fill up the whole space. So I'm going to take my time to follow along the drip like this. And I'm just nice and slowly going through it, trying not to rush too much so that it's not a big sloppy mess, and making sure I leave a nice little gap between the first line I did and the next one. If it's not 100% perfect, some parts are skinnier, some parts are thicker, that's okay. But as you can see, as I'm doing this, that you can definitely tell the difference between the line I'm drawing right now and the one that I started doing, that nice dark one. All right, once I filled this up, now I'm ready to add a few more drips in here to fill up my page. So we have this nice drip at the top. Now I'm going to be doing another drip that kind of starts from somewhere in the middle and kind of connects over here. And then I'm going to do another one that connects as well. So let's do that. Okay, my total drip design is all drawn out now. And again, I made sure I did my double layer of black on my first original drip lines that I did, because I want to make sure they stood out, so that they stood out against the other lines that I repeated. Now it's time to add our color. So I'm going to choose whatever color materials I want. Like I said, I'm going to be using marker, and I'm going to be doing some bright colors. Now, Jen is known for her rainbow patterns, but she also likes to throw in some neutrals, like some black and white in there. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with a rainbow. I'm going to do a little black and white and then some more rainbow in there, and just kind of like spice it up a little bit. So whatever color you're going to start with, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that when you are doing the section that you're keeping the same color throughout all of it. If you need to, you can even mark so that you don't lose track. My first layer is going to be red, so I'm just kind of putting some dots throughout the red. I can do the same with the orange and the yellow, whatever I need to do to help me keep track of what I'm doing. And I'm using the side of my marker. So instead of using the tip like this is going to take forever. If I'm using the tip of my marker, it's going to take a really long time and just be really rough and scribbly. So instead, I'm using the side of my marker. I'm able to cover a lot more surface area a lot quicker. And this goes for crayons or color pencils too. So whenever you're trying to get a lot of space filled in, use the side of it. So the side of your crayon, the side of your marker, the side of your color pencil, and you're going to get a lot more done a lot quicker. And I'm going to keep doing this until I fill up my entire paper with either layers of color or black and white or a little bit of both. All right, there's my finished Jen Stark inspired drip painting. As you can see, I did rainbow order in both sections, but I did it differently. I started with purple, worked my way backwards, and then I also did red, worked my way the other end of the rainbow. And then right over here, I just did a black and white. I just used a regular plain old black marker because Sharpie would have taken a lot longer to fill in. So this is fine. And you can either leave it just like this. This is totally acceptable and a great way to finish it. But you could also get a pair of scissors, which is optional. And you could actually cut along your drip here at the very bottom. And that would just be kind of a cool extra touch so that when you hang it up, it actually looks like it's dripping down your wall and not just, on a piece of paper. All right, there it is, all done, ready to be hung up on a wall and look like it's dripping right down it. I hope you guys had fun with this, and I most definitely cannot wait to see the different patterns and designs you end up creating for your Jen Stark drip drawing. Have fun.